Write a formula for the function g of x obtained when the graph of f of x equals the absolute value of x is shifted down 10 units and to the right 16. Okay, if I were to graph this and I would pick a value for x and then calculate the f of x that would go with it, and I'm going to pick a couple of positives and a couple of negatives and 0. I'm going to go with -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Well, f of x is the absolute value of x. So if you take the absolute value of -2, you get 2. The absolute value of -1, you get 1. The absolute value of 0 is 0. The absolute value of 1 is 1. The absolute value of 2 is 2. So for this first point here, when x is -2, the y-coordinate is 2. That is going to be 2 to the left and up 2. It's going to be right here. Okay? Then the next one, which is x is -1, y is +1, that's going to be -1 up 1 right there. And then we've got 0, 0, which is the origin. And then we got 1, 1, and 2, 2. And that's just a few of them, but if I were to connect the dots, this graph would be a V. And it would keep going, okay? It would be a perfect V. Now, they want you to shift it down 10 units and then to the right 16. Whenever you're shifting up or down, that's going to change the equation. You're going to have this f of x is equal to the absolute value of x, and if it's going to get shifted down, it's going to take the entire function down by 10 units. Okay? If it had said shift it up 10 units, I would have put a plus 10. Now, that makes sense. Down would be negative, up would be positive. Where it gets a little weird is when you shift it from right to left. If you want to shift it to the right, and in my mind I'm thinking, okay, I got to go to the right. Well, that's in the positive direction. No, it doesn't work that way. When you're going right and left, it's actually the opposite of what you're doing. So if you're going to the right, you're actually going to be subtracting 16. And not only that, that 16 is going to get subtracted inside the absolute value. Now, had it said shift left, then I would have put x plus 16. All right? And basically what will happen is every single point, like this point here, is going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to here. And then it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It'll land right here. So your V is going to move like that. It starts off where the yellow is, but when it's written like this, it'll be located, you know, here, like that. Now, they didn't ask you to graph, but I just kind of, I'm a visual learner, so I like to, you know, kind of do a little graphing to show you what's really happening here. Anyway, just remember, if it's up or down, you're going to add or subtract to the actual function. So since the function was the absolute value of x, you're just going to add or subtract to that entire thing. It'll be outside the absolute value. But when you shift left or right, that has to go inside the absolute value, inside of it, and then it's actually the opposite. To the right, you're like, oh, I'm going in the positive direction, but to get it to move over there, you actually have to subtract. Just to prove it to you, this point right here has the coordinates of x was 16 and y is -10, and if you take this 16 and stick it right in here, 16 minus 16 is 0. The absolute value of 0 is 0, and then 0 minus 10 is a negative 10. I think that went off my screen, sorry. But that's why it's actually the opposite of what you're doing. That's why you have to have a minus 16 here to cancel out the positive 16 that's you're going to get for the x-coordinate right there. Anyway, what I circled in blue is the final answer. They just want the formula.